Welcome to another episode of r/Entitled Parents, and you are watching Reddit Gossips. So let's start with our first story. Entitled Dad uses his children to pick up chicks. Alright, so my parents got divorced when I was really young. Due to certain factors, my entitled dad only had visitation rights, but no custody of me and my 5 brothers and sisters. Dad would either forget he was the father of 6 kids or use us to get women, whichever was more convenient at the time. Here's a couple of examples. He tricked a childless woman, his second wife, into marriage by promising that after the wedding, he'd have full custody. Told his fiancée that the only reason he didn't have custody was because he was single at the time. My stepmom's dream of being a mother to 6 was ripped apart. A few years back, my father, married to his 3rd wife, was diagnosed with cancer. He threw himself awake so he could participate. 4 out of his 6 kids come to the party. His wife has 2 sons from one previous marriage. The wake was in their large backyard. Food, table, chairs under canopies. 4 out of 6 of my entitled dad's kids were in attendance and brought their spouses and niece. I was 35 years old at the time. Everybody was wearing name tags. This is important. My entitled dads said dad. That was it. My husband and I were late and didn't know about the name tags. I walked up to my entitled dad and gave him a hug while he was talking to others. He started to lean on me as he was tired. According to outside observations, it appeared that I was a mistress rather than his daughter. He was still hugging me and putting his head on my head. After 15 minutes, I was pulled angrily away from our position, and someone said, "Who are you? What are you doing here? Don't you understand that my presence was hurting his wife?" My dad just smiled. I said, "You see his name tag? Says dad? Well, that's who he is to me." And the person just said, "Tonight we all are." And I said, "Yes, but he'll always be my dad." Finally, my entitled dad speaks. "She really is my daughter," he says. The person says, "I didn't know you had children." I said, "Yep, all 6 of us." Now I excuse myself to go back to my husband and siblings. Not even 15 minutes later, my entitled dad and entitled mom were talking to others by our table. The person asked if they could point out their children. My entitled mom said, "Well, there's my 2 sons and their wives and children." We wait. That's it? My brother goes up to them before that person leaves and says, "And these are the entitled kids that were able to come." Again, the person looked surprised and turned to my entitled dad. Then this person said, "I never knew you had children. I thought you said you had no children." My entitled dad said, "Oh, I forgot about them. Sorry." Forgot he had 6 kids? My husband and siblings were appalled. My brother said, "Well, if that's true, then we're at the wrong party." We all left. Didn't have much more to do with him after that till his death. Entitled father who barely had a relationship with me growing up thinks no matter what, he gets access to my child. Okay, so I welcomed my first child in the middle of 2020. I've always dreamed of being a mom, especially since my own mom was and still is garbage. My parents split when I was a few months old. It's been a war zone ever since. It's so bad, they literally can't be in the same room with each other without threatening physical violence. Lots of my mom saying hurtful things to me about him so I wouldn't speak to him. But he also didn't try. He straight up would ignore me. He's been married 5 times since my mom. She's his first wife, and has tried to create the perfect family each time. So, I moved in with him when I was 16 because I had nowhere else to go. My mom was so down into drugs, I needed some kind of stability, but it wasn't great. He's never raised children, so it was a hard mesh. Now, while I say all of this, I will say our relationship has improved now that I'm older. No longer under his roof, and he somewhat respects me. But that all came crashing down when I got pregnant and had my child. You always hear these stories of the crazy moms and mother-in-laws trying to steal your baby. Well, my father thinks he gets to have my child. For reference, I'm an only child, so for my big bad dad to not have a son probably kills him daily. And then boom, I have a son. From day one, he's talking about all these things and trips he's gonna do with my child, how he wants us to move in with him so he can help out. Now, my dad is in his 50s. Parenting then versus now is completely different. I've done a lot of research regarding things I want to do for my child. like BLW versus purees, no blankets in the crib, no co-sleeping. I don't judge those who do those things. Those are just things that I'm doing as a parent to my child. In every turn, I'm met with his stupid remarks of what I'm doing wrong, how I'm bubble wrapping my child, how I baby him, how he's gonna be a big baby and end up being gay because of how much I baby him. A lot of just yucky stuff. I've put my foot down for all of it. I've gone limited contact lately, but now I'm contemplating going full no contact due to the fact that he honestly thinks he can talk and treat me any way he wants and still have access to my child. That when he or I move closer, he's gonna fix everything with my son. This coming from the man who literally didn't raise a child ever. I asked him why he thought that was true, and he said because he's the grandpa and my son needs him. I just think it's really funny. I'm trying to do well for myself, my son, and my husband so we can move forward as a family. And both of my parents, well, mostly my dad, think because they produce me, they get him? Why are toxic parents like this? Why do they think they get rights, or they rug sweep everything once you pop a baby out? It's so weird. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this.